Hi everybody, my name is Kevin Messerschmidt, and today I'd like to talk to you about your Plan B. Like I said, my name is Kevin Messerschmidt. I'm a proud dad of one boy. He's 10 years old. I have lived in my hometown for 42 years. I spent 20 years in corporate sales and training. I was in the mortgage industry. And to be honest with you, I hated it. I was miserable, I was fat, I was overweight, and I was depressed. I did not like my career. And then in about 2008, even though I wanted to leave that industry, I was kind of kicked out. And what happened is the company I'd worked for 12 years went out of business. And though I tried to reinvent myself, what I learned is that the other companies that I went to also had their issues. And, somebody moved my cheese, so to speak, right? So I had to try and find something else. And because the company went out of business, I had to try and survive on about 25% of the income that I once made. And it doesn't matter how much money you make, when you have to try and survive on 25%, that can be a really tough thing to do. So I didn't have a solid plan B. Don't get me wrong, I had other, irons in the fire, so to speak. I had a sound production company and I was a live audio engineer, but that was more for my fun. It wasn't so much as a business that I could do, that could actually support the lifestyle that I had created. So today I want to help you think about your plan B. How secure is your plan B, and do you even have one? What's your catastrophe plan, right? How about retirement? Are you saving for your retirement? How many kids do you have? How about their college education? Are you adequately saving for college? Do you love what you do for a living? Do you wake up in the morning and can't wait to go to work and you don't want to come home? And what about your health? Are you taking preventative measures to make sure that everything you do is in the best interest of long-term health? This is one of my favorite quotes. It says, "It pays to plan ahead. It wasn't raining when Noah built the ark." The slide here says, Daily Gazette, economy falls into recession. Dow falls another 300 points of massive layoffs continue. I will never forget where I was when I started reading things like this. I was watching CNN in a Chicago hotel room, and I couldn't turn the news off. I was on vacation, and I couldn't stop watching what was happening. Everybody was getting laid off, massive layoffs, and the Dow just kept plummeting one day after the next. It was just awful, right? When I see things like this, the memories of that makes me just quite honestly want to throw up, because that's when everything started to change for me as well. So were you prepared? In 2008 and 2009, the U.S. labor market lost 8.4 million jobs, the most in any recession since the Great Depression. And what about our wealth? Your money for 401k and retirement? Well, U.S. household wealth fell by $16.4 trillion. That's trillion with a T. So you have to ask yourself, who's looking out for you? Do you think there's a golden parachute at the end of your rainbow? Is there a big pot of gold waiting for you, or do you have to look out for yourself? Did you know that the new ideal age of retirement is now 67 years of age? Just in 1995, the ideal age was 60. The majority of workers, 55% of us, do not expect to have enough money to live comfortably in retirement. Forget about taking a vacation. We're just talking about living comfortably in the lifestyle that we've created for ourselves. How about Social Security? Well, the Social Security Administration says that those funds are going to be depleted by 2033, and at which point you're going to have to try and live off of 77% of your scheduled benefits. Hey, those benefits weren't that much in the first place. Now you're going to have to live on about 3/4 of it. What about college? The College Board reports that an average school, state school, is going to cost about $22,000 a year. A moderate budget, okay? And a private school, $43,000 a year. And if you take into consideration the fact that most kids are not graduating in 4 years anymore, it's usually a 5 or 6 year plan, you're looking at $150,000 to $200,000 education without graduate school. Now, here's the sad part. On average, families are saving less than $3 a year for their children's college educations. How about your job satisfaction? USA Today says that America's job satisfaction has fallen to a record low. Less than 50% of workers actually are satisfied at work. Fewer workers consider their jobs interesting. They just go to work and do what they have to do, but they're not feeling fulfilled. They're not feeling challenged. Okay? How about your income? Has it kept up with the rising cost of inflation? And how about those healthcare costs? I know for me, when I first started in the mortgage industry, my healthcare for my family was about $350 a month. By the time I left that industry, it was about $1,250 a month. That was a significant increase. How about yours? Has a rising cost of health insurance taken away from your take-home pay? For a lot of us, this leaves us with a lot more stress, family issues, more worry. It affects our health, right? So what's your plan for unexpected job loss? What about death or illness in your family? If your boss comes to you and says, hey, you know what? Got good news for you. I'm not going to lay you off. You still have a job, but you have to take a 25% pay reduction because we're not profitable right now. How about for retirement? That college savings. What about if you have to go through a divorce or separation? That one hits home to me because I did have to do that. And now instead of surviving on 2 incomes to run a household, I'm surviving on 1 income. What about the good things in life, like building a new home or going on vacations with your family and creating those memories? How about having a career that you can wake up in the morning and be proud of and can't wait to get there? How about just being happier and feeling less stress in your life? Or having more time to do what you want to do when you want to do it? Or having the financial freedom to help people that are in need or to do what you want when you want to do it? And finally, what's your plan for better health? Maybe you think you're doing everything you can, but is there something else that's missing? Is there something else that you could do to have better health? Here are some possible solutions for you. You could save more and spend less. You could work more years in your career, retire later, right? You could work extra hours. You could get a second or a third job. For a lot of us, right? Third job. And then everybody should do this one. We could eat healthier and work out. One of my favorite is, you might win the lottery. That could solve a lot of problems, right? But the one I want to talk to you about tonight is, how about starting your own business? Let's look at some options for starting your own business. So I found an article that talked about the perfect business. There's a group of 50 people, and they all listed some of the things that they would want to see in the perfect business. Here are some of them. Not having a boss. No commute. What would you do with the extra 2 hours you spend a day in traffic? What could you do with your life if you had those 2 hours back? How about not having to wake up until your body is done resting? No employees, no issues to take care of. How about not having politics to worry about or discrimination? What if you didn't have to go to school for 7 or 8 years to do what you want to do? What if your job was actually fun and had unlimited income potential and created what's called residual income? That's money that you keep making over and over long after the efforts have been put in place. What about having time freedom, doing something meaningful, personal growth, having a lot of perks? How about an international business? Just in case the U.S. economy is in a slump, what if you could work someplace else in the world where they aren't having problems? How about a low-risk business that has low startup costs and is economy-proof with tax benefits? What if you could help other people and enjoy the people that you actually are working with? How about part-time, full-time, or big-time income? We're going to talk about that in a minute. But think about that. Part-time, full-time, or big-time income. And then what if you were in business for yourself, but not by yourself? Statistics say that over 60% of Americans want to own their own business, yet most of us don't know how we're going to be able to do that. We don't have the money, the time, or the resources. So what can you do? Here are a couple options for you. On the left side of the screen, we have Mom and Pop's Diner. That represents a traditional business that you start on your own. And on the right side of the screen, we have traditional franchises. So starting your own business is typically a large investment. You have to wear many, many hats. That means you have to be a lot of things to a lot of people. You have to do book work. You might have to be the cook. You might have to be, the buyer. You might have to be the floor sweeper. You wear a lot of hats, right? Typically, when you start your own business, it's got to be full-time. You have to give up the career that's supporting the family to take a risk and go do something new. You have very little freedom. Marketing, advertising for your business. You're in charge. You're the one that has to get people to show up at the doors of your diner and get them to eat in your restaurant. You have to take care of your employees and their needs. You have legal expenses. You have a lot of overhead. And you have to get a loan, which usually requires a personal guarantee. For those of you that don't know what a personal guarantee is, it means that you go to the bank and they give you money, but you sign your life away. You put your house on the line. You put all the other things that you own on the line. If your business fails, you lose everything. That's what a personal guarantee means. So now, how confident are you in that idea that you once had? And then it's typically high risk, and a lot of people say high reward, but I put question marks there because when I talk to business owners, it doesn't seem like the rewards are as high as they used to be. So let's reduce the risk a little bit and buy a proven franchise, a proven system that works. You still typically have a large investment. You still have to wear a lot of hats. Now you have to pay royalties, meaning you have to give the franchise a percentage of your profits right off the top before you make anything. You have very little freedom. You have to work full time. You're going to need that loan and probably still going to have to do the personal guarantee. You'll need employees. You'll have a large overhead. And though it is lower risk, simply because the system has been proven, is the reward any higher? Not always, okay? So what I want to ask you is simply, is there another option? If you want to own your own business, is there another option? What can you do? Well, it's called network marketing. And no, it's not perfect, but it is better. Now I want to stop right here for a second because I want to tell you that about a year and a half ago, if you would have came to me and told me that I should look into network marketing, I would have called you crazy. If you would use the term skeptical to describe me, that would be an understatement. So trust me when I tell you that network marketing wasn't even on the radar for me when I wanted to look at ways to help my family make more income. So if I was you, keep an open mind here and listen to the advantages of network marketing compared to the traditional business that we just discussed. It's extremely low startup costs. You don't have to go to the bank. You don't need to get a personal guarantee. You have a low monthly overhead. You have a ton of freedom. That means you can do what you want when you want to do it, and usually from where you want to do it. You can create a passive residual income, meaning you get paid over and over for work that you did just once. You have a team of people helping you, like marketing and advertising departments. You have an IT department. You have legal, and you have customer service departments to take care of your issues for you. You don't have employees. You have an inheritable business where now you can leave a legacy for your family. You can leave something behind for your kids and your grandkids. Extremely limited liability. And now you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. That means you have a team of people that are vested in your success. So if you're not sure how to do something in a traditional business, you kind of got to search it out and maybe pay an expert to help you. In this kind of a business, in network marketing, if you're not sure how to do something, you have people that are more than willing to help you do it to make you successful. We have a global territory. Think about that restaurant. You are in a hometown, your hometown, you got your restaurant. The only way you're making money is if you get people to walk through your doors. You're not going to send cheeseburgers across the world, are you? In network marketing, you have a global territory. And you get to be around like-minded people, entrepreneurial people, people that have been successful before and are going to be successful again. Positive, happy people. They say that, you become the sum of the 5 people you hang around most. Look at those 5 people in your life. Are they going to take you where you want to be? If not, you might want to find some new people to hang around. And this is a biggie. You can start your business in your spare time. You can start your business in your spare time. You don't have to quit the job that is supporting your family. You might have to work a little bit harder, a few more hours, but now you're doing it for you, for your dreams. When you wake up in the morning, you're not building somebody else's dreams, you're building yours, okay? And you can start it in your spare time. And like I said, the risk is extremely low with a very high reward. So here's a couple businessmen that you may have heard of before. One guy's name is Bill Gates. For those of you that don't know, he's the guy that was the founder of Microsoft, all right? Bill Gates says that if he would be given a chance to start all over again, he would choose network marketing. Then there's Robert Kiyosaki. He's a famous author and businessman. He says that the richest people in the world look for and build networks while everybody else looks for work. Okay? Consider this. If you got involved in a network marketing company and just started to network with the people that are in this business, I've told you they're successful people. Do you think that could help you in your career, in your life, just by building the networks with some of the people that are involved in this industry? You bet you it can. Here's a big one. But I'm not a salesman. Awesome. You do not have to be a salesman. In fact, I have to teach salespeople how to not be salespeople anymore. Because in network marketing, we don't sell you anything, especially in this company. In the company I represent, we educate you so that you can make a decision for yourself. Okay? So we're teachers. And I just have to ask you, have you ever taught somebody how to do something? Or have you been taught how to do something? Well, of course you have, right? And you probably are a really good teacher if you really stop and consider it. So while teachers in real life, you can read the news everywhere and they say that teachers are underpaid, and I think they probably are, in network marketing, we don't have that problem because great teachers in network marketing make great incomes, okay? This is an old saying, and I love it. It's one of my very favorite. It says, give a man a fish, and he will eat for a day. Teach a man to fish, and he will eat for a lifetime. I added to that, teach him how to teach others how to fish, and he will be able to eat anything that he wants. I love pizza. So if I had to eat fish for the rest of my life and no pizza and no Sundays, yeah, Kevin would not be a happy man, all right? I'd probably be a lot skinnier than I am today, but I wouldn't be happier. So if I can teach you to become a great teacher, I can help you create what's called leverage, okay? And leverage equals time freedom and financial freedom. So let me explain what leverage is. Most of you trade time for dollars. You go to work and you make X amount of dollars for X amount of hours worked. If you're a doctor or a chiropractor or a dentist, you go to the office, you see patients, and for the amount of patients that you see, you get paid a fee. That's called linear income, okay? Leveraged income is a little bit different, and let me explain. So what I want to do is I want to help you understand how you can teach your way to leverage. So my job is to be a good teacher, and if I can simply teach you to teach others, right? Then we would be able to create that leverage. So let's just take 2 people that are excellent teachers and they go out and they teach 2 others to do what we do. You'd have 4 excellent teachers that could go out and teach 2 more people to do what we all are doing, which would lead you to 8 people that are excellent teachers. They all find 2 more people and teach them how to do what we do. You'd have a total of 16 incredible fishermen in the world, wouldn't you? 16 incredible fishermen. Now, to illustrate the point that you don't need to know thousands of people to make network marketing or leverage work, I'm just going to add 1 person to that. So instead of looking for 2 people that you're going to teach how to do what you do successfully, we're going to find 3 serious people that want to learn and want to go out and teach others to do what we have taught them to do. Just take a look at what happens. Instead of 16 serious fishermen, we got 81. That's a total of 65 more fishermen just because we added one more in the beginning that we went out and taught. Okay? Let's do that again. Let's start with 4. I won't bore you with the math. You can see it on the screen. But take a look. Instead of 16 fishermen, we'd have 256 for an increase of 240 more fishermen. Why stop there, right? Who can't find 5 people, 5 serious fishermen that are willing to teach other people to do what we do? It might take you a year. It might take you 5 years. It might take you 10 years. But the rewards are worth it. So let's take a look at this. If you could find 5 serious fishermen, what happens to those numbers? Compared to the original 2, just because you taught 3 additional people from 2 to 5, right? Instead of just simply having 5 more, 21 people, you'd have a total of 609 more serious fishermen, right? That's a total of 780 serious partners, all doing what you do. Duplication. We've created leverage. Now, if we took time off to go see our kid play baseball or go to a dance recital, we still have 780 other people doing what they do. Can you see the power in that? Let me give you one more just real quick example. If we had 780 partners, and in our business, we just all went out and found 10 customers each. And I got to tell you, finding customers is easy with a product like that we have, and I'll talk about that in a minute. You would have 7,800 customers. If you add those 7,800 partners that are all using our product as well, we'd have 8,580 users. We have in our company a system, and that system, I'm going to call it an anti-aging system, and you'll understand why in a second, is $110 a month for our system. Okay? If all 8,580 users were using that $110 a month system, we'd have a business that's over almost $1 million a month, doing over almost $1 million a month in revenue. If we earn on average about 5% commission, your total monthly income, you guys, would be $47,190 a month. I said that right. $47,190 a month. What would you do to change the world if you were making close to $50,000 a month? Who could you help? What could you do for your family? I'm sure the list goes on, right? So here's some things to consider when you join a network marketing company. I found this in one of the major publications for network marketing, and I think it's pretty interesting. Number 1, has a company displayed a steady pattern of healthy growth? Are the company's products unique? How stable is the company? What is its growth potential? Is it privately owned or publicly traded? And that's important because it provides transparency. Publicly traded companies have to disclose everything that they do, okay? How about the company's products? Are they tested? Are they proven to work as advertised? Who are the company's leaders? What's your risk versus your reward? Does the company have product users, or does most of the volume come from distributors to distributor? Meaning there's no customers, it's just all distributor based. All right, so let's take a look at why LifeVantage. Why did I choose to hang my hat on LifeVantage? And I got to tell you, I'm all in when it comes to this company. I have money on the stock, a lot of my 401k. My company stopped contributing years before we went out of business, so I have some making up to do. And I've done the research, and I believe in this company stock. I'm not telling you to buy the stock. I'm telling you to do the research so you can make that determination. But if you choose to do so, what's awesome is that we're publicly traded on the NASDAQ, and you have the ability to buy shares in this company if you so choose to do so. We have scientifically validated products and technology. Not only do we have the science, but most of you have seen the ABC Primetime Report. That ABC Primetime Report aired in 2005, 4 years before this company was in network marketing. And that report came on the heels of a human clinical study that showed that Protandim did what it was supposed to do, and that's reduce oxidative stress 40% on average in 30 days. And you guys, if you don't know what that means, and if you don't understand how big of a statement and how powerful that statement is, let me just throw this at you. There's an industry called antioxidants. It's over $65 billion a year. Okay? Over 65 billion with a B dollars a year. And all those products are 1-to-1 ratio, meaning it's like throwing a Dixie cup of water on a house fire. Okay? Your fruits, your berries, your veggies, your vitamin C, your vitamin E, they're 1-to-1 ratio. Think of a Dixie cup of water going on a house fire. Our products, our proven technology, Nerf 2 activation through our flagship product called Protandim, has been proven to be 1,000,000 to 1 every second on the second. That would be like having your house on fire and having a fire hose or sprinkler system going off in every room every second on the second until that fire is extinguished. Can you see the difference? And here's the connection. If there's a $65 billion a year industry called antioxidants, and their sole purpose for existence is to reduce the free radicals that cause oxidative stress, and they do it like a Dixie cup of water in a house fire, do you think there's potential for a product like Protandim that would be like a sprinkler system on that house fire? 1 to 1,000,000 to 1 every second on the second. That's what we have our hands on. We are an international company. We just launched Canada. We're in Japan, Hong Kong, Australia, Mexico, and the United States. And there is currently only about 60,000 distributors in the world. To put that in perspective, if we rounded up all the distributors in the world and put them in Lambeau Field, where my football team, the Green Bay Packers, play, that would mean that the whole rest of the world is wide open. The distributors in this company could fit into one stadium. How crazy is that, right? We have experienced corporate leadership that's been around this industry for years. We have a large percentage of customers. Over 2/3 of the people that use our product are just customers. We have an easy system, which means easy duplication, which is extremely important in network marketing. We have a consumable, renewable product. That means we have a product that goes on what we call a monthly auto ship. When people consume the product by taking our product, Protandim, an example is a pill, they consume it at the end of the 30 days, they need it again. So every 30 days, they get their new pill. That means it's renewable. That means you don't have to go out and find a new customer each and every month. We have multiple worldwide patents, 7 patents worldwide currently, 5 in the US and 2 around the world, 1 in Australia and 1 in China. We have what's called revenue sharing. That means the success of one is good for all. In other words, if somebody in Hong Kong has a very successful business, and I am one of the leaders in our company, I get to share in that success. And if you're not a leader, we even have a bonus set up for brand new people that can allow you to share in up to 5%, shares of 5% of worldwide sales. It's huge, okay? When was the last time you got to share in your company's success? Extremely low startup costs and low overhead, and we have an incredible return on your investment. Our company is built on teamwork and support. We don't compete with each other. We actually work together to help each other because the success of one is good for all. And we're properly positioned to take advantage of market trends. Have you ever heard of the baby boomers? Well, the baby boomers is a small group of people, right? And I'm laughing inside here. Small? No, there's a huge group of people. And they have changed the course of history for everything they've touched. From Gerber baby food to Pampers to bicycles and hula hoops. Whatever the baby boomers touched has turned to gold. Well, now the baby boomers aren't getting any younger, right? They're getting older. And what they want more than anything is better health and financial security. And we're properly positioned to take advantage of both of those things. And this company has had consistent growth. Look at this. In 2009, before network marketing, this company was down to 7 cents a share in its stock, and it was only a $3 million a year company. The first year after network marketing, during a recession, this company grew to $11 million in total revenue. In 2011 fiscal year, $39 million, 2012, 126 million, and we are on pace in 2013 to be over $200 million. That is consistent growth. Okay? So let me just show you how limited success can equal big rewards. We talked earlier about investment income. That's your money working for you. Well, this is kind of interesting because I'm going to compare it against network marketing income, which is your efforts working for you. In network marketing, your efforts equal helping people see the vision, being a good mentor, a good teacher, motivating people, leading by example, being a good team player, and playing to win, okay? So let's take a look. If you had $25,000 laying around and you could take it to your local bank and you could ask your banker to give you 5% return on net investment, you would have a total investment, or a total residual income, I should say, coming back to you of $106 a month. So if you can afford to take 25 grand, and if you can find 5% interest, which by the way, most banks are about 1 to 1.5% right now, you would receive a residual income of $106 a month if you don't touch your $25,000. Let me ask you, how long is it going to take you to save 25 grand, to put it in a bank, and not touch it? And would it be worth earning $106 a month? I'm going to jump to this last scenario. How long would it take you to save up $1 million? For most of us, if we could even get there, it would take us our whole career, right? 40 plus years. If you had $1 million and you threw it in a bank and you got 5% interest on it, you'd have a $4,263 a month income. Look at your current expenses, consider inflation, and ask yourself, if you worked the rest of your life to save $1 million, and if you could get 5% interest, is $4,263 a month enough for you to live on? Okay? If it's not, take a look at what can happen if you build a network marketing business, if you put your efforts to work for you. Now remember, our anti-aging system is about $110 a month. So if you could teach enough other people to go out and sell that anti-aging system, if you could just go out and simply teach 25 of those people to do it, you'd have a group volume of approximately $2,500 a month. And for that, you'd receive about a 5% commission, which would be $125 a month. Compare that to saving $25,000. How long would it take you to save $25,000 versus building group volume of $2,500? Well, I don't know how long it'll take you to save 25 grand, but I can tell you that people within 30 days are building a group volume of $2,500, okay? Let me jump to the bottom. How about group volume of $100,000 a month? If you could go out and find 1,000 people that want to buy their anti-aging system, and not just you, but the efforts of your whole group, all the people that you've taught to teach others, if your group combined could find 1,000 people that wanted this anti-aging system, maybe some of them just wanted our Protandim, others wanted our skin cream. So all together, you had $100,000 in group volume, and you earned approximately 5% commission on that. You'd have a residual income of approximately $5,000 a month. You guys compare that to the $1 million. Would it shock you to know that we have people, quite regularly in fact, that can build that $100,000 group volume in 12 to 24 months? And even if it took you 3 years to build it, compare that to how long it would take you to earn $1 million, put it in a bank, and not touch it. There is big rewards here, and it doesn't mean that you have to be at the top of your game to get there. For the record, $100,000 in group volume is about the halfway point in our company. It's when you start to become a leader. It's when you start to become one of the top people in the world. But we have people that do well over $1 million in group volume a month. So do the math on that. So in traditional business, it's all about location, location, location. But in network marketing, it's all about timing, timing, and timing. You don't want to be the last person to the party. You want to be the first person to the party, okay? Here's a quote from Direct Selling Association. They say that the first 135 distributors to join a network marketing company with predictable success participate in a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. let's look at our success and you determine for yourself if it's predictable. In 2009, we were a $3 million company. And in 2013, we're on track to be over $200 million. And the future is bright. We're just launching in Canada. Most of the United States is uncharted. Okay? So what you're looking at now is a business S-curve. And in a second, I'm going to fill in those green circles. Take a look. On a business S-curve down at that star, that's what's called the pioneering and formulation period. Then you have momentum and stabilization. So this S-curve was made famous by Paul Drucker, and it shows that all businesses go through these different areas or these cycles of business. So for an example, let's just consider Microsoft. In the early 80s, they were at that formulation and pioneering stage. It's been said that if you would give Microsoft $1,000 in the early 80s, by the time they hit stabilization like they are today, that money would have been worth over millions and millions of dollars. Okay? So let's take a look at our company. In 2003 and 2009, we were in the formulation and pioneering stage, and that was before network marketing. That was when this company was almost broke and out of business. Their stock was down to 7 cents. See, what's different about this company is that LifeVantage only chose network marketing because they needed a new means of distribution. Okay? They already were in stores like GNC and Rite Aid and CVS pharmacies, but they had dropped the ball. It didn't get out to the people, right? So when they switched, that's when the growth started happening. What we're looking for now are what's called innovators. They're people that see it before everybody else sees it. They're the early people. They're the early people to the party, right? They see it, like for an example, the cell phone. They owned a bag phone long before people even knew what the term cell phone meant, okay? And approximately 85% of a company's growth happens during this momentum. We're about where that blue circle is, okay? So what happens then is that the innovators get in early and they see this, and then there's what's called the early adapters. And they start to look at the business and they start to see it a little bit quicker than the early majority does. And then there's the late majority and the laggards. The laggards are the kind of people that go to Walmart and they only buy a touch-tone phone because they no longer sell rotary phones, okay? It's kind of like my dad, as an example, all right? So here's what my dad, just for the record, my dad said, I'll never own a home computer. You ever heard of those people? Well, my dad's got like 6 of them now, but it took him a while. So anyway, those innovators, the people that are in early, they get to cast a big net, right? They get to go wide. They get to find people. And then when these other people, the early adapters, the early majority, the late majority, and the laggards, they see what we have and they start to join what we do, you're the one that gets to train them. You're the one that gets to teach them. And for doing that, you're going to be financially incented to do so and rewarded. Make sense? So you want to be in early, all right? Like any business, just like Microsoft. All right, if you're still not sure, I'm going to leave you with this. Paul Zane Pilzer, he's a famous American economist. He served on 2 presidential administrations, and he's the founder of 6 companies, all right? This guy's pretty well known and very well respected around the world. He wrote this article called The Wellness Millionaires. And in this, he says that there's 2 emerging industries, the one of wellness and the other of direct selling. And these 2 industries are going to combine to create the next generation of wealth. All right? So that means you're in the right place at the right time. Okay? We are in the wellness industry and we're in the direct sales industry. And what he says is that over the next 10 years, the U.S. economy will create 10 million new millionaires. All right? So, all I can do is educate you. I've made my decision. I'm all in. Now you have to ask yourself, what's your future look like? And are you doing enough? Do you have enough health? Do you have enough time? And do you have enough wealth? If the answer is no to any one of those 3 things, then get back to the person that invited you to this meeting and get the rest of your questions answered. If you already know your answer and you're ready to get going, let them know that too. And don't hesitate, don't wait, get in and go like crazy. All right? The only thing worse about our company is the timing. It's always going to, the window of opportunity is always going to close a little bit day after day after day. So, if you're ready to get going, get back to the person that invited you to this meeting and let them know where you stand. And if for any reason you want to contact me, you can reach me at the website below. Orderfromkevin.com. That's a look at our company's back office. And again, please do not order product from me. Order it from the person that invited you to see this webinar. And if you want to contact me, you can reach me on my email. It's simply kevinslife@gmail.com. And my phone number is 414-322-7483. I'm looking forward to talking to you, and I hope this webinar has been informative and helpful. Have a great day.